The tower defense gacha game. Arknights is a benchmark in the gacha game genre, and the best, it really is a game you can play free to play. In a genre frequently criticized for shallow design, exploitative monetization, and an over-reliance on luck-based mechanics, Arknights has established itself as a benchmark of quality and integrity in mobile gaming. Developed by Hypergriff and published globally by Yostar, Arknights defies gacha expectations by offering deep tactical gameplay, substantial narrative ambition, fair monetization, and an exceptional audiovisual presentation. Now well into its 5th year, the game continues to grow, not only in content, but in refinement, setting a high bar, not just for gacha titles, but for mobile strategy games as a whole. At its core, Arknights is a tower defense game, but to describe it simply as that would be reductive. The gameplay is far more than just placing units and watching the results unfold. Each stage is meticulously designed as a strategic puzzle, requiring players to carefully manage deployment points, unit positions, skill activations, and timing, all in real time. The enemy waves are often designed with complex pathing, status interactions, and environmental hazards that evolve as the game progresses. Rather than relying on brute force or sheer power levels, success depends on adaptability and planning, making it one of the few gacha titles where player skill can genuinely outweigh roster strength. This foundational design choice lends Arknights a tactical depth uncommon in mobile games. Operators, the units players collect, come in a variety of classes and subclasses, each filling niche roles from healing and stalling to AoE nuking or buff suppression. Operators aren't just stats and skills, they're deliberate tools in a larger strategic system. The game regularly challenges players to innovate by introducing fresh mechanics, such as terrain manipulation, enemy buffs, or stage-specific hazards. The introduction of harder challenge modes, roguelike experiences, and limited-time high-difficulty events like Contingency Contract further deepens the gameplay experience, requiring mastery of team synergy, timing, and map awareness. The accessibility of its systems is one of the game's strongest points. The gacha rates are clear, 2% for 6-star operators, 8% for 5 stars, with a soft pity system beginning at 50 pulls and guaranteeing a 6-star within about 60 to 70 attempts. While not overly generous, it is far less punishing than many competitors. Importantly, Arknights doesn't pressure players into chasing duplicates. Most operators are fully functional at base acquisition, and dupe benefits are marginal in most cases. The game even retains long-term viability for 3- and 4-star units, who can contribute meaningfully in late-game content thanks to well-balanced design and non-escalating power creep. The gacha system is also varied. Standard banners, debut banners, limited banners, and kernel banners offer multiple paths to obtain units. Most notably, Arknights allows players to spark for limited operators during anniversary or festival events, and offers reruns for previous limited characters. Dupes grant certificates that can be used to purchase powerful operators or extra gacha pulls, reinforcing the value of every role. The inclusion of free pulls during major events, along with the generous in-game currency system, especially through weekly annihilation missions and event rewards, creates a fair ecosystem that avoids pay-to-win scenarios and fosters long-term player retention. Perhaps the most underappreciated element of Arknights is its linear and RNG-free character progression system. Unlike many RPG or gacha titles that rely on randomized gear, stat rolls, or substat grinding, Arknights features a predictable, resource-based system. Players collect specific materials, level operators using EXP items and money, and then promote them to elite stages to unlock new abilities, art, and modules. This straightforward system allows players to plan upgrades precisely without the frustration of gear RNG, contributing to a far more satisfying and efficient growth path. Where Arknights truly distinguishes itself is in its storytelling. While many gacha titles treat narrative as a backdrop or filler, Arknights embraces its lore with a remarkable level of depth. Set in the world of Terra, a war-torn land plagued by the incurable disease oripathy, the game explores themes of social collapse, discrimination, revolution, and moral ambiguity. Rather than rely on generic tropes, the game builds a richly textured universe populated by factions with distinct political, cultural, and economic identities. The narrative follows the amnesiac strategist known only as the Doctor, who leads Rhodes Island in a humanitarian fight to mitigate the effects of oripathy while navigating the socio-political complexities of Terra. The world-building is intricate. Regions like Kazimierz, Iberia, Laterano, and Ursa are more than just names. They are fully realized cultures with traditions, histories, and conflicting ideologies. This depth is reinforced through both main story chapters and side stories, which often shift perspective away from the core cast to explore new regions or thematic elements. Events like Break the Ice, Dark Knight's Memoir, and Il Sirakusano focus on secondary characters, enriching the world and giving Terra a lived-in global feel. The storytelling is bold in scope, unafraid to dwell in political gray areas or depict emotional trauma, and its long-form structure has earned praise for tackling themes that most mobile games would shy away from. One of the major innovations in the game's presentation is the multilingual voice acting system. Arknights supports English, Japanese, Chinese, and Korean dubs, but also includes region-specific languages such as German, Italian, and Russian. Some operators speak in dialects, while others switch between languages mid-voice line. Players can assign individual language dubs to each operator, resulting in battles where characters speak across linguistic borders. Far from being a gimmick, this feature subtly reinforces the game's world-building. Rhodes Island feels like a truly international organization. This localization effort represents a level of detail and cultural respect rare in any game, let alone a mobile one. Visually, Arknights excels in character design and illustration. Rather than a homogenized art style, the game commissions a wide array of artists, creating a diverse aesthetic catalog. Operators are uniquely styled, with identities that reflect their nation of origin, background, and role in the story. Their personality is embedded not only in dialogue, but in their skill animations, designs, and even their thematic music tracks. The splash art, promotional illustrations, and limited-time skins, many with live 2D animation, rival and often surpass the quality seen in full-priced console games. Musically, the game defies genre conventions. While many gacha games lean heavily into a single style, Arknights offers an eclectic soundtrack that spans orchestral arrangements, metalcore, jazz fusion, industrial, ambient electronic, folk, and even techno-gospel hybrids. Produced by Hypergriff's in-house team and featuring global artists, the soundtrack is expansive and expertly crafted, with many tracks released as standalone albums or performed in live concerts. Every event has a distinct musical identity, and the music is often tailored to amplify the event's emotional and thematic resonance. In terms of content volume, few gacha games compare. With over a dozen main story chapters, some of which rival the length of full novels, and more than 700 side story stages archived permanently in the game, Arknights provides a staggering amount of content. Players can revisit past events via the intermezzi and side story tabs, a rare and commendable feature in a genre notorious for limited-time, FOMO-driven design. Other game modes such as integrated strategies, roguelike, reclamation algorithm, base management, and contingency contract, high-difficulty challenge mode offer varied experiences that reward strategic thinking and resource planning. None of these consume energy, allowing meaningful play even when stamina is depleted. The ability to engage with permanent, repeatable content at one's own pace makes Arknights uniquely accessible while maintaining challenge and longevity. If there is a criticism to be made, it lies in the sheer density of the experience. The volume of content, while a strength for dedicated players, can be daunting for newcomers. Events often introduce complicated mechanics and expect a baseline understanding of game systems, and failing to keep pace can lead to a backlog of unclaimed rewards or unfinished storylines. The narrative itself, while deeply rewarding, is long-winded. Chapters like Episode 14 stretch over 90,000 words, longer than many novels. While some players appreciate this depth, others may find the pacing and exposition overindulgent, particularly during dialogue-heavy segments. Additionally, Arknights demands active engagement. Unlike some gacha titles that automate gameplay or allow for passive progression, Arknights requires direct interaction and tactical decision-making. Players uninterested in real-time strategy or who prefer idle-style mechanics may find its gameplay loop too demanding. Nevertheless, these are minor drawbacks in a game that otherwise demonstrates remarkable ambition and execution. Arknights succeeds because it respects its audience. It challenges players without resorting to RNG, tells a mature story without condescension, and monetizes in a way that rewards investment without punishing frugality. It is a game where free-to-play players can thrive, where low-rarity units remain relevant, and where every edition expands rather than dilutes the experience. As a live service, Arknights shows no signs of stagnation. With a growing franchise that now includes anime adaptations, merchandise, live concerts, and a full-scale PC console title in development, Hypergriff is positioning the brand not just as a mobile success, but as a global multimedia property. More importantly, they've done so without compromising the integrity of the original game. In an industry crowded with transient, derivative experiences, Arknights stands apart. It is a game of strategy, substance, and style. It is, by nearly every meaningful metric, the gold standard of gacha game design.